Hey, Miss Page. I met you in person about 6 years ago, and there was just something that was very different about you from all the other people in the group that we were in. And I didn't have a lot of direction. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do in life. I knew that I had big dreams and there were things that I wanted to do, but I had no idea how to do them or if they were even accomplishable because we have 5 kids, one of them's handicapped. And that just seemed like a lot of barriers, and I didn't see a lot of opportunity. I saw a lot of barriers. But in the past 6 years, I have started the business. One of the things about you that's very different, everyone wants to be a life coach. Everyone is trying to help people now, but you're the only one that I have ever seen that has proof of concept, that has the background and the history. You can Google search and see that you've actually done the work. And I don't believe you can lead someone where you haven't been. And I believe you've been there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times over, and you're leading other people there. One of the other things that is fascinating about you is that you are reachable. Like if I message you, no matter where you are in the world, you will message me back. That is, who else is in Dubai messaging saying, "Hey, what's up?" While, we're in different time zones, different parts of the world, but you make time for the people that make time for themselves. And you teach and you show and you lead by example. And also, when you got on that call with our church to kind of give information and say, "Hey, these are the things you need to do. Here are some tips." You give the information, and if people listen, they go far. And it's valuable information. It's not just like the random stuff that somebody can Google. It's stuff that you've cultivated over the years from making the mistakes and having the successes and knowing what does and doesn't work and changing with the times, because sometimes the information is stale from other people, but you're always current. It's always useful. And I am so grateful for that, because what worked 10 years ago may not work now, and you stay up on what's currently working, what people currently need, how you need to adjust, how you need to shift. And that to me, more than the motivation, more than the encouragement, having updated information is priceless. And the other thing is the consistency of you as a person, the consistency of your loving and your kindness, your willingness to help, and not, you know, what do I want to say? How do I want to say that? Not looking for something in return. Like, "Hey, I'm giving this. You can join me, but I'll give you information and I'll help you. And I'm not going to take it personally if you don't take my information, but I'm going to give it because I want to see somebody succeed." So many people don't really want to see people succeed. They just want what you can do for them. So that makes you, to me, that makes you different automatically, because you actually want to see people succeed. You want to see them do better. You want to see them come up. You want to see them change the trajectory of their families. So all of that to me made you stand out and extremely different from all the other people who are claiming to be life coaches, but there's no proof that they've had life yet. So that to me made you extremely different. And to put me and my family, you helped me and my husband get our businesses started and the funding and all of that stuff. And we are still going strong. The businesses are still up and running. I know most businesses fail. Ours have been up for 4 years and is still going. So just a testament to what you can do when you're coachable and when you listen and you do the work.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Tina.
I was just a one of five from Louisiana, southern Louisiana, um, a town called Port Barry that if you go back, you know what poverty is. The houses are shacks and everything else. And a lot of times when people say we're going to do a business meeting, it's in a conference room with chairs, but you did something very different. You put us in a whole different environment where I'm in a house I am in like a villa in Florida with a pool and a private chef. You introduce people to bigger so that they can dream bigger, because this is something I couldn't have imagined. You have business meetings, the tea party, oh my goodness, dressed in Victorian, where people were coming up to us asking us if we were movie stars. You expose people to something that they couldn't imagine. I mean, some people come from families that do big things. I wasn't one of them. I came from a trailer with a hole in the floor. And to be exposed to trips to the Dominican Republic, where that's where you're having a retreat at to talk about business and self empowerment, who else is doing that? So I just having yacht trips, things that you couldn't have ever thought about. And it's like blowing your mind, like, wait a minute. Am I being invited to a yacht? This is something you see on TV. I grew up watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and never imagined that some of the things and some of the places, a private chef, are you kidding me? That food was amazing. Starting our morning with yoga, you just do things differently, you move differently, and so we get different results, but you introduce people to a life they couldn't even have thought about or imagined, and that is huge to me.
That hit home. Thanks. That definitely hit home because I feel like the best way you can help people is by inspiring them, not lowering to their frequency to give them a hand out, but keep climbing and invite them in the doors. The doors aren't always going to be free, but that is exactly what will allow them to stretch. That's exactly what will allow them to actually figure out how they need to get in those rooms. But it's my job as a vessel to at least extend the invitation. Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Tina. And I know Miss Dana Kay said she was listening in today. I don't think she is in a position to speak, but she's one of my ladies as well, and one of the current ladies I'm coaching. And her book is everything. I'll let her talk about that whenever she's ready. That's her gift to the world. But all I can say is it's amazing, and it's been an honor to help her complete it and bring it to the world. So I'm excited for all y'all to meet Dana one of these days. And I see Miss Mimi just joined. If you can hear us, saw her a minute ago. And Miss Demi is on here as well, if you'd like to share for just a minute. So Miss Demi can go and then Miss Mimi can go. Just your experience in working with me. I would say for sure in the landlord department. You can unmute, Miss Demi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Demi. Um, Miss Page has been mentoring me I would say over 15 years now. Most recently, she helped me with one of my biggest streams of passive income, which was obtaining my first rental property and getting a passive stream of income through rental income. So, going through that process with Miss Page, it was honestly life-changing because it was something that I had never been through before, an experience I've never went through before. So when you're taking a risk on yourself and investing in yourself, it can be intimidating, but and you can have a lot of fear about if you're going to be successful. But working with Miss Page, she always has that mentality that you can really achieve anything that you put your mind to. So anytime I went through any roadblocks during the process of obtaining my first rental property and getting my first tenant and generating that income, Ms. Page was there for me during the whole process. Any questions that I had, she was there to help me answer. I remember at the time there was one issue that I had, making sure that I was picking the right tenant, and Miss Page also helped me with that. And even up to this day, I still have the same tenant that Miss Page helped me pick, and it was one of the best tenants I've ever had, and I've she's been renting from me for over 6 years now. So that was one of the experiences that I've had working with Miss Page on getting that stream of passive income. So I was just extremely grateful to have her as a coach and a mentor throughout that process. And we're currently working on getting some more streams up and running for me. So that's definitely something I'm excited about and something that I'm looking forward to in the future.
Let's go, Demi. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Misha York. I have known Beige over 5 years now. I was introduced through Beige to her book that caught a lot of people's attention, and especially my attention, how to get what you want without giving it up. After reading that book, I followed her on social media, and then I had the opportunity to meet her, and of course, I jumped on it. And through that opportunity, I was able to start learning trading and, just brushing up my skills in financial literacy, like literally learning. Because a lot of things I had no idea before of, we don't get taught these things in school. I am so thankful for Miss Vade. She's left an incredible impact on my life. She's one of the few people that um that voice still rings into my head to this day, even if I haven't spoken to her in months. Like, her voice will say something like, if you have a feeling that you need to do something, create something, you need to do it. You need to finish it. You need to see it through. You need to carry it through. And so I launched a book earlier this month. It's entitled The 10 Commandments of AI and Property Management. And of course, Paige was one of the people that inspired me to do the book. So I broke down, 10 practical and evidence-based rules of how we can, move, how we can move processes, operations to the next level. So AI can support us, and we don't have to be so overwhelmed and overworked at work, staying home, staying at work late hours in the evening and all that stuff. We don't have to do that anymore. So I'm just grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Miss Sage for being an influence in my life to get that done.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you all for joining. And if you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat box. And if you can see me, put a 2 in the chat box. I want to make sure everything is on the up and up. If you can hear me and if you can see me, put a 1 and then a 2. Awesome. If at any point you cannot hear me, please say something in the chat or unmute yourself if you have to. It's important that you are able to hear and see everything. So thank you all for joining and thank you all for being on time. If you don't know me, my name is Miss Paige Fletcher. I'm an internationally recognized life coach, a business strategist, best-selling author, and transformational speaker. I've been featured on Dr. Phil, on True TV, on The Breakfast Club, and Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker. I'm the founder of the Gold Group, and I conduct financial empowerment workshops titled Design Your Life all over the world. I've been blessed to be financially free for over 20 years, and I have over 7 streams of income. To date, I would say I've traveled to over 40 countries, about 43 to be exact, and I've helped thousands of women generate passive income and break generational cycles and really build the wealth mindset. So, how I intend to make this the most valuable hour or so of your life, I'm going to explain why making good money doesn't automatically create time freedom or wealth. I'm going to break down my 3-step next level blueprint that changed everything for me, and hopefully it will change everything for you. I'll break down some of the actual streams of income that fund my lifestyle. A lot of time people talk about what you should do and they don't show you the back end. Today I'm going to show you the back end. I'll walk you through some frameworks I teach behind the scenes of my private mentorship, and I'll let you know how you can join us if you want to start this financial transformation. So, I'm going to talk about how I went from working for money to building passive income streams that work for me. So, before we begin, what I'm sharing here are some things I've never shared before. So, please pay attention, take notes. If you have any questions, I'll ask you to unmute at the end or drop it in the chat box, and I'll take some time to actually answer those questions because I want to make sure the people get what the people came for. So, creating passive income is not a get rich quick scheme. I promise you it's not. It's a journey. It's about finding what really works for you. So keep that in mind. I also want you to keep in mind that my exact results may not be your exact results. We all have different schedules, different habits, different schedules, but I want you to know that passive income and a life of freedom is possible. So, quick questions for the chat. What city are you checking in from? What city or state? What do you do for a living and why did you join today? If you all can answer some of those things, it can give me a better idea of who I am speaking to. Sometimes it's that one little thing I can answer or one little connection I can make that can really put the piece of the puzzle together for you. So let me know where you're checking in from, what you do for a living, and why did you join today? When you got the invite or when you saw the post, something about it resonated with you. I would like to know what that is. I'm looking at the chat. Y'all don't just stay there. All right, I am giving y'all a few moments while I look into the chat box. Boston, Massachusetts in the house, HR analyst, let's go. And you want to obtain information. Awesome, awesome. Dayton, Ohio. I've never been to Ohio, and you are in healthcare. All right, let's go. Thank you all for participating. I'd like to know I'm not the only one on here. Cool. So this works best when you take notes. You'll be able to take screenshots of anything you see. And once again, I'll be able to answer any questions that you have at the end. Do you know that 73% of women say they want financial freedom and time to live on their own terms, but only 27% actually take action to create passive income? Well, today I'm going to teach you what those 27% did differently. I would say I live a pretty amazing life. You know, everything isn't perfect, but overall, I've been able to achieve most of my goals. One, which has been traveling the world. And I don't take that lightly because I didn't come from a family of world travelers per se. And another thing is, I was terrified of flying. Before I could see the world, I first had to break my own mental conditioning and had to like step outside of myself and face my own fears. So that itself is huge for me. I used to have nightmares whenever I booked a flight. That's how bad it was. Okay. So for me to be able to travel all over the world, I don't take that lightly. So your goal may not be traveling, but the fact is, it's something that you want to do. It's a life that you see in your head, and it's something holding you back. And most of the time, that thing is fear. So hopefully today, by sharing my story, it helps you to get past those limiting beliefs. Um, a little over a year ago, I took a trip to Bali. When I said a one-way ticket, one-way ticket, and it lasted 3 months. I had the time of my life. This was me actually in Bali for a while. It was more than I saw on the internet, more than I saw on YouTube videos. It was more than I imagined, and it was the healing that I absolutely needed. This was Dominican Republic. This was in Morocco on the beach. This was in Saint Martin, Peru, where I climbed 3 mountains in 3 days. I don't know who recommended that. I felt like I was gonna pass out, but after that, I was so impressed at myself that I actually did it. Life is about pushing yourself past limitations. This was in Costa Rica, Grand Turks, I believe. Yep, Grand Turks, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Thailand. I remember signing up for this saying I'm going to pet a tiger. I didn't know when I went into that house-sized cage, it would have been five of them roaming around me, okay? But I'm all about adventure, anything that gives me that excitement, you know? I just feel like God created this whole world and so many untouched treasures for us to explore. I think it's a travesty when people are born, go to school, work, get married in the same city, and then die in the same city. Life is about exploring. And I would say if you hopped on this master class today, then I understand you. It's something that's resonating with you, something that I felt at the time too. I completely understand that what you need the most is your time. I remember working at the time, it was a cubicle. Some of you may be working from home, which is a step above a cubicle. But I remember just working random jobs for years and feeling unfulfilled, and sometimes working 2 and 2.5 jobs, and the money still did not make sense. And I asked myself one day, like, how long would I have to do this? You know, and I actually put it on paper and say, okay, if I work 40 years, then I can make this over my lifetime, but I still would never be fulfilled, and I still would never be wealthy, and I still wouldn't have much to pass on to my children, and I wouldn't have my time and the time to spend with my kid. So I was like, something had to change. I would say my journey started, you know, working from paycheck to paycheck. I did jobs like cleaning, retail, customer service, sales. I modeled and acted for a while, and though that was fulfilling for a time, it was still a paycheck to paycheck situation. I would land the gig and spend that check and not know when I was going to get another gig. So I consciously like took a step back from that because I couldn't build wealth like that. And it was only a handful of people you would say, you know, like became super wealthy modeling. It wasn't a proven formula. It was like a hit or miss. And I didn't want to bank on a hit or miss. So I remember watching myself and other smart, hardworking women trade hours for dollars with no end in sight. And I felt completely trapped, to be honest. Like I was depressed. I remember that feeling going into work, calling random people, making hoping to make those sales and just looking at the clock, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm like, okay, I got 2 more hours to go. And then you get off on Friday and you're like, oh my God, in 2 days, I got to go back. Like I literally felt depressed for years. I said, something got to change, something got to change. And when you hit well, when I hit that feeling where I'd rather had been dead. And that sounds a little harsh, but honestly, that was it for me. I'm like, I'd rather be dead in a coffin, in the dirt, than do this for 40 years because this is not living. I got to figure out something. And when I hit that point, I figured something out. I remember the day I knew something had to change. I didn't know how it was going to change, but I remember this conversation vividly. I was sitting down at dinner with one of my friends, and I used to always tell him my ideas and, you know, like stuff I want to do and stuff I want to try. And I used to always have my notebook writing down notes and ideas. And if I didn't have my notebook, I would ask the waitress for a piece of napkin and a pen, and I'm writing down the stuff so I can remember it, you know? And one day he said, don't be one of those super smart people who stay broke all your life. When I said that hit me in my gut, that hit me in my gut because I knew what he was talking about. You know, for years I had all these ideas, but I was still in the same boat of all my friends and family who were struggling. So I'm like, how can I be so smart, but like it's not adding up? Like I know I have potential. I know I have drive. Like I'll take risks. I'll do whatever it takes to get out of here, but I just don't know what to do. And when he said that to me, I was like, I gotta find a way because I actually saw what he was saying. Like I would another 5 or 10 years or 20 years would pass with me just having all these ideas and going nowhere. And I remember the day my perspective changed. I was 19 years old when my mom passed away from breast cancer, and she died with 10 kids and only 52 cents to her name. And if that don't wake you up, I don't know what is, but that woke me up at 19. I'm like, wow, you can really work all your life and then pass away with nothing. And it was a, a valid reality of most of the world. of most of the world. She had just turned 60 and she was excited to turn 60 because now she could ride the bus for 50 cents instead of $1. So those were the dreams of the people I had in my circle. And I'm not judging them. They did the best with what they had, but I knew I needed another way. I needed to be around people who knew more than me to go somewhere. Like I got tired of taking the same advice from the same circle that I was in, and none of them were really elevating. What I got handed down was a mindset of food stamps, low income housing, getting on the Section 8 list. That used to be one of the most exciting times of the year. When you look in a newspaper, you hear that Section 8 line or the Section 8 wait list is open. I used to go down there and try to get your name on the list and rent a center. I remember um, after my mom passed away, being at her apartment because she never owned a house, she never owned a car, she didn't have a driver's license. And I remember going through her stuff, me and my sister, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and it says, "Mrs. Fletcher there? Is Mrs. Fletcher there?" I said, "No, she actually passed away a few days ago." And they said, "Well, this is Rent a Center, and she rented a couch set from us, and we need to pick it up." I'm like, wow, wow, wow. If that wasn't an all-time low, like it did something to me. People don't care when you die. They want their check. Okay, they want their money. I knew like I didn't want to be in that place. And when I had a family, I didn't want my children to feel that type of really poverty and mediocrity that I felt. I knew that I had to be the beacon of hope. I had to be the person who changed the trajectory of the family. And I went on that journey. And I remember the day I made a decision. I was 21 and I had my daughter. I knew I had to do something different. I couldn't let history repeat itself. I knew there had to be a better way to build wealth and leave a legacy, even though I didn't know exactly how, but I knew I was making a decision to be the one to figure it out. And the day I actually took action, I drove from Orlando to Los Angeles with only $500 to my name. I was determined to change my life. You could imagine what my friends and my family said, "Girl, you crazy. Like you irrational. Like this makes no sense. You're gonna drive across the whole America with $500 to your name. You've never been to America before. I'm sorry, you never been to Los Angeles before. You only have one person who said, okay, if you make it there, you can sleep on their couch, and you don't have a job lined up." Like I get what they were saying, and what they were saying was factual. But I knew that in order to have some miracle breakthroughs, have something that I've never had before, I was willing to do whatever it took. I was willing to do I was just willing to shoot the dice, roll the dice, because I saw my mom in a coffin. I saw how we all gonna end up. And I'm like, you know what? Like I'm not gonna tiptoe through life until that day comes. Like I'm going to max this thing out, okay? Not only for me, but for my child. But I gassed up that car and I made the best and also the hardest decision of my life that day. And I chose to leave my daughter with her family. And I didn't plan it that morning, but when they came out there on that lawn debating with me and talking some quote unquote sense to me, I came to the conclusion. I said, okay, babes, you can take this risk. You can make it happen, but you can't bring this baby with you, not having nothing planned. So I left her with that side of the family, and my family was also around the corner. So it was the first grand, the first niece, the first everything, so everybody poured in. So that worked out. But for me, I didn't know what's going to happen when I got to California, but I knew what would happen if I stayed in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted a different life. So I took that drive, and it's on that drive that everything totally changed for me. I found out that I didn't need to work harder. I needed to work smarter. I needed multiple streams of income. And I'll tell you how I even found out what passive income was. I met I met a guy. Let me find his picture. All right, his picture will probably come up. But I was actually in a bookstore. All right, hold on. Okay. So I was actually in a bookstore in Los Angeles and I'm there shopping for books and it was a gentleman in the same section and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "From Orlando." And he said, "What made you come to LA?" I said, "I want to model and act." And he said, "Sweetie, you're gorgeous and I'm sure you're talented, but everybody comes here for the same thing. Have you ever thought about something else, maybe writing books or movies or scripts?" And in the back of my head, I'm like, this man don't believe in me. You watch, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him. But I just humbled myself and I listened to him and I thought about a book idea I had maybe a year ago and I thought he was just gonna brush it off, but I actually told him the book idea and he said, "Sweetie, finish it. It's gonna be a bestseller." And I listened to that man. That man turned out to be James Cannon, Nick Cannon's father. He took me under his wings. He encouraged me to finish writing that book. He encouraged me to publish that book. He encouraged me to reach out to the top TV shows and pitch them my book. And I did that in my early 20s, and that book landed me on Dr. Phil. And that's how I figured out what the rich and the wealthy knew that we did not know and that wasn't taught in school. And that, my dear, is income, residual income, and investing. So I finished writing my first book and I was getting about 7 different checks from different entities every month. It was Apple, it was which is iTunes, it was Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million at the time, and a few other ones. And that realization really changed everything for me. It's once I started getting those checks, I just had a bug, I had a knack for like creating other streams of passive income. And that book did so well that Dr. Phil invited me back on 2 times, and that was the last year I had to work. I couldn't have written a better story. But when I tell you, when you got a feeling inside of you that say, move, you better move. Like I was on that lawn that day and I remember that feeling so intense inside of me and I'm out there crying and I'm like, I don't want to go by myself. Like this is crazy. But it was that feeling inside of me that said, move. And I've learned I would say listen, but it's not really a voice. It's just a feeling. But I've learned to listen to that feeling throughout my life. And when I say it never led me wrong, it has never led me wrong. So think about things that you want to do, and it may not make sense to anybody around you. It may not make sense on paper, but it's a feeling you can't shake. Like you need to listen to it. You need to listen to it. So I would say eventually I cross on the other side, it may be it may be easy to other people. I don't know what background you all are from or that most people are from, but when I said like none of my parents had the stuff I had or went to the places I've been to or met the caliber of people I've met. So I don't take it for granted. I had to find like the answers through trial and error for years, through mentors and books and workshops. But thank God, like I stayed consistent to my goals. I created my goal board. I always had it in front of me. I said my affirmations almost daily. Like I visualized, I meditated, and I pray, faithfully, and humbly, I'd like to say, like I feel like I made it on the other side, and I feel like it wasn't by chance. I feel like I was chosen, and I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to give people, and I finally packaged it in a program which I'm gonna tell you all about, So I've been able to accomplish some crazy cool things and gone to some amazing places and flew private a few times here and there, But what is even more amazing than that is to be able to fly private with my girls and to invite my girls on my yachts, and the smile on their faces and when they come back and tell me like, Beige, like thank you so much for allowing me to experience this and like you make me feel like it's possible. Like that's the reason I continue to strive and do the things I do and get the things I get. Because one, yeah, you can tell people till you're blue, but until you have the results, ain't nobody trying to hear you, okay? Nobody is trying to hear you. So what's more amazing than me being able to book a private villa is to book a 10-room villa for my girls, and we have a powwow or a weekend workshop or a retreat, like, and see my girls bond. And to like not only me going to conventions and wealth webinars or wealth seminars, but also inviting my ladies. So that's what it's all about, not just for me, but to bring my girls with me. So this is a tea party that I do almost annually now at this point at the Ritz-Carlton. So I just love to expose my database, men and women, to the life I now live, because once again, I don't think it happened by chance. So that's why I made this my life's work. Like when I really sat down and said, like, Paige, why are you here? Like, what's your purpose? And all the things that I've went through in life, honestly, it would make no sense unless I'm teaching other people how to get out of the same position I was once in. So I teach people to create a blueprint that actually works for them to get out of the 9 to 5, and just to prove that you don't have to choose between security and freedom, and anyone can build passive streams of income. And I mean anyone, because there are so many different departments and areas and sectors that you can build in. You are bound to find a few streams that really resonate with you and your personality. And I want you to know that the same strategic thinking that makes corporate women excellent at their jobs can be applied to building passive income as well. Like, you've been leveling up in corporate America. You have skills, you have knowledge, and there's a way you can monetize that for yourself, you know? And that's why I built Next Level Mentorship, where I combined real world strategies with my experience. And it works in 3 simple steps designed to fit your busy lifestyle. I would say I mastered multiple streams of income, and now I teach women to create other, like other streams, other passive streams, other residual streams without having to quit their job prematurely and without having to spend thousands of dollars up front. And the women I taught, I would say they didn't just earn extra money, but they learned to build wealth, break generational cycles, and design lives they don't need a vacation from. And when people say generational, yeah, curses, I really think it's generational choices, because a lot of times we just run with the blueprint or our teacher or our, community leader or our parents gave to us, and we never question it, even with our eating habits. And then we end up getting the same, diseases or sicknesses or diabetes or high cholesterol. And we say, it run in my family. No, it's a choice. It's a choice. So today I'm going to share the exact system that I built or narrowed down that helped me to help you. So I have over 20 years teaching experience or life experience. So I'm not just teaching theory. It's not something I just studied. It's what I lived. People can tell you, oh, go do this, do A, B, C, D. But when C is not in the picture, then they don't know how to coach you to get to D because they never actually did it themselves. I'm not teaching you all nothing or anything that I haven't done. So why you can trust this works. I've helped thousands of women successfully help create different passive streams of income, whether it was trading or writing their books or designing their courses or investing in real estate or, picking stocks. Like, I've been blessed to be just so well versed in so many areas just because I tried so many things. So I built a marketing funnel that generated about 2 million, and I built that thing on my own. I've had personal experience breaking generational poverty and building real wealth. And I have a live monthly coaching system designed for women making good money, but who want freedom. So that's why you can trust that this works. To date, I've helped thousands of women create passive streams of income and shift the way they think about money. And that was through programs I designed, through coaching, whether it's one-on-one or group coaching, through the books that I've written, through workshops that I've put together. And once again, past results don't guarantee future results. I don't know your work ethic or how committed you are to your own success, but I can guarantee you that I'll introduce you to multiple streams of income, and what you do with that information is totally up to you. But I want you to take about 60 seconds, close your eyes, We're going to imagine for a while. I don't care who's around you. If they think it's hokey pokey, if they think it's weird, because it works. Ask me how I know. So just close your eyes and imagine waking up tomorrow without an alarm clock. You can wake up at any time you want. You can sleep the whole day away if you want, darling. And then when you wake up, you check your phone and you see money hit your account while you slept. Oh my gosh, where did it come from? Was it a book that you wrote? Was it a course that you designed? Was it a digital product? Was it an Airbnb? Like, where did this money come from? We have so many options. So picture having the freedom to spend mornings with your kids or your family, or travel wherever you want to, or finally work on that passion project. For me, I'm a beach gal. So every chance I get, I'm on somebody's island, barefooted in a bikini, okay? So where's your favorite place? Think about that. And what would that level of freedom do for your confidence, for your family, and for your legacy? Whatever you're seeing in your mind right now, I want you to know that it's already done. It's already done. Like, if you can see it, you can have it. They say God wouldn't give us the vision of something that we couldn't obtain. So it's already done. So now it's about putting a strategy together and let's do the math and reverse engineer so you can live that life. You deserve to live that life and it's possible. Now open your eyes. And that feeling that you just felt, like, keep it, like bottle it. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, anytime you feel like you can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel, you close your eyes and you get that feeling back. You bask in that feeling, because people don't understand. It's not just thinking about what you want to do. It's actually feeling where you want to be. That's going to help you to bring yourself to that life. So y'all remember that. And I would say mentorship is definitely key. Here's one of my mentees, Deanne. She said, working with Miss Page has given me immense clarity on the direction I want to take my brand. When I walked away from the workforce, it was terrifying, but having access to her books, courses, workshops, and personal coaching has made my transition to become an entrepreneur smoother than I expected. And I want to say, here's what you do not need. You don't need years of trial and error to figure this out. You don't need to quit your job before you're ready. You don't need thousands of dollars upfront to get started. You don't need a business degree or tech skills. In fact, I have a college degree that is still in the envelope. 20 years later, I haven't even used it. Thank God, thank God. But what most people don't know is it was just an associate's degree, and it took me 6 years to get that 2-year degree. How's that math for you? Like, I did not like going to school, honey. I did not like schedules. I did not like appointments. I did not like tests. But the ironic thing is, I will read books. I've read thousands of books, and I always have a book with me. But like, just waking up every day, getting dressed, driving across town to like sit somewhere for like 2 hours, then another class for 2 hours. It just didn't work for me. So that's why I tailored this mentorship program where you can work on your own schedule, and it's tailored to your personality. Every month, I'm going to talk about something different. So I understand that people have different learning styles. Just because somebody doesn't want to go to college, quote unquote, doesn't mean they're not smart, don't mean they won't be super successful, okay? And you don't have to be perfect or figure it all out. You don't have to choose between security and freedom, and you don't have to be someone you are not. I would say what most women try that makes things worse is trying to figure it all out without any guidance, or stopping and starting, or starting and stopping because they have no accountability, or spending money on courses but never finish them, or getting analysis paralysis from too many options, or listening to people who's never actually done it, or getting advice from someone who doesn't have the results they want. So those are some of the things women try to do on their own, and it just make things worse. So introducing the Next Level System is a 3-step mentorship program designed specifically for ready to build passive income, and it's a 3-step mentorship program designed specifically for women ready to build passive income and take control of their lives. So step one, you'll get clarity. Step two, you'll get a blueprint. And step three, you will get accountability. Adia, she's one of my ladies as well. She said, the moment it clicked, after a session with Beige, I was like, why am I just learning all of these things now? She shared so many practical things about creating the life you want, setting goals, finding out what you want in life, learning what school doesn't teach about money. I remember when Adia reached out to me, she reached out all the way from France, darling. From France, and one of her goals was to actually go to Santorini. And even though France is like right there in Europe, you know, close to Greece, it was just so unattainable to her. But I helped her make that happen, and I met her in Santorini. So that was an amazing trip. But I love when women actually face their fears and make a conscious effort to, you know, just break their limits. So, who is this webinar designed for? Women who make good money but want time freedom. Women who've been reading self-help books, buying courses, researching on YouTube, going to workshops, but feel stuck in the learning phase. Women who are ready to take action but need a clear blueprint and accountability. And women who value mentorship from someone who's actually done it, not just teaching. And what you won't have to do, you won't have to quit your job before you're financially ready. You don't have to risk thousands of dollars without knowing if it works. You don't have to choose between stability and your dreams, and you don't have to become a totally different person. And I would say what makes this different from others is it's not just another course you're going to watch on your own. It's actually live monthly coaching. It's not generic advice. It's personalized to your goals. And it's not from someone who just studied it. I lived it for 20 years. And once again, it's not a get rich quick scheme. I don't like those.
Hi, my name is Erica. So I decided to come out because I really wanted something different, and I'm about to just go the other route of the 9 to 5, and I know she has a secret, and I just wanted to find out. And once I was sitting there, she's just pouring so much information. I had to write them down, and I have to go back home and just go through everything because all she said was just like resonating with me. I had to go and just listen to her. So if you need some information, you need to come out.
Hi, my name is Latasha and I just attended Beige's Vision Board Party. Thanks for having me. I learned so much. I'm inspired, ready to go chase my dreams. Thank you, Beige, for having me. Your story is amazing and you have inspired me to really, really run after my dreams.
That's just a few of my ladies that I've coached over the years. So the 3 core problems that most women face when trying to build passive income, I would say number 1 is analysis paralysis. Number 2 is execution anxiety. And number 3 is having an accountability gap. If you feel like one of these resonates with you, then drop it in the chat. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? And I'm going to break down each. So problem number 1, analysis paralysis. You spend hours researching best passive income ideas, but can't decide where to start. You feel paralyzed by too many options, courses, books, or YouTube videos. You worry about picking the wrong path and wasting time and money. You see other women succeeding and wonder, why not me? You stay stuck in research mode because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. I already see some ones in the chat box. Analysis paralysis. Or is it number 2? You buy courses but never finish them because you don't have life support. You start projects but stop when challenges come up because there's no one to ask questions. You read self-help books but struggle to apply what you've learned to your specific situation. You attend workshops and conventions that inspire you, but weeks later, you're back where you started. Or you feel like you're always learning but never earning. That is execution anxiety. If you are a number 2, drop number 2 in the chat box. Or are you number three? Have you have an accountability gap? All right. So you don't have anyone in your circle who understands or thinks like you. You feel judged by family and friends who question why you want more. You worry that people will criticize you if you try and fail again. You lack a mentor who's actually built passive income to guide you through challenges. So people don't understand mentors usually are great in mentoring you in one or a few departments, but it's very rare that you will have a mentor that excels in everything. So you have to choose who you want to mentor you in what department. So once again, you lack a mentor who's actually built passive income to guide you through challenges, or you feel isolated and alone in your journey towards financial freedom. So if that is you, put a 3 in the chat box. All right, I see some twos, some ones and some twos. Somebody say I could be a two. All right, so these are the 3 things that most people usually struggle with. So what is the income trap? The harder you work at your 9 to 5, the more you get promoted, the more money you make, the more responsibilities you take on, resulting in having less time and less freedom. Then on top of that, the more you research passive income on your own, the more you get confused and overwhelmed, and the cycle continues until you give up completely, or until you find someone who's done it and can guide you through it. Most people only know about earned income, but there's actually a few different types of income. And one is earned income. That's what most people know about. And that's money from a job, you know? And I remember when my mentor, Robert Kiyosaki, said, working is the worst way to make money. I was like, what you mean? Working is the only way to make money? Because I didn't know how to make money outside of a 9 to 5 at that time. But he was like, no, working is the worst way to make money because it's linked to your time. So even if you work 24 hours a day, which is like impossible, but if you work 24 hours a day, you'll still never be financially free. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, wow, he's right. So another kind of income is profit income. So that's money made from selling a product or service for profit. So it can be something that you made or a service that you give, but the profit that you make off of that, that's your profit income. Or there's interest income. So money earned by lending to others. There's actually platforms you can make an interest on by lending money to other peers or other people. So pretty much what the bank do or does, but you can do it yourself. So that's interest income. Then there's capital gains. So money you receive when you sell an asset like a house, that's capital gains. Then you have dividend income, where it's money earned by companies that pay dividends to shareholders. Yep. So some stocks, in addition to making a profit when the stock goes up, some companies actually pay a dividend on top of that. And those are the type of stocks that I like. Then you have rental income. So money earned by renting out real estate. And no, you don't have to own real estate to make real estate income. Okay. You can rent out your rooms. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, or rent out a home by rooms, or you can rent the actual property but still sublease it out to other people if your landlord is fine with that. And then you have royalty income. So money earned from owning and licensing intellectual property. So that is royalty income. And I promised you to see some of my income streams. So here they are. One, I told you guys that I write books. So I've written a few books at this point. And it's a few ways you can make money from books. So, of course, the paperback and the actual hardback, those are the physical ones. You can also have it on the Kindle. That's a third stream, still with the one book. You can have it as an ebook where people can download it. I don't really recommend that one. I would, if you if you're going more of a digital route, I would choose the Kindle just because it's hard for people to duplicate it. You can also have the audio book. When I wrote my first book, it was doing great for years, and then I noticed one year it kind of started dwindling, and I had to do some research. And that's when I found out that people were kind of shifting from the physical book to the Kindle. So I had to make some adjustments, and I put my book on the Kindle, and then the sales rose again. A few years later, I saw the dips again. I had to do the research, and then I realized that most people had converted to audiobooks. So a lot of people may think they're going to write a book and it's going to take off. If you don't have an audiobook, you're leaving most of your money on the table. I'll give you guys that nugget. And the way this is set up, it's set up as a lead magnet, the screenshot right here, meaning I you don't always have to sell your book, quote unquote, to make money. So a lot of businesses or brands set their book up as a free lead magnet where they give out the free book and you only pay for shipping and handling, maybe like $7, it or it may be, I know you guys said the volume is low. Is it still low? If it's still low, let me know. I'll try to speak up. So yeah, you can do it as a lead magnet. So either you sell the book, well, you give it out for free, and you can capture people's email addresses in exchange. And then if you have like another program or something else you're selling that's a higher ticket, then you can market that to them. Or if it's a physical book that you are giving out for free, you just pay for shipping and handling. But the whole goal of this is just to capture the contact information of your potential customers. And that is a win-win. So those are a few ways you can make money from an actual book. And those are some of the ways I make money from my books. And one of my other streams of income are physical products. I have a t-shirt line which has nothing to do with my face or my name, and I just have it on other platforms like Shopify. And I have other products like this is my gratitude box. So in my gratitude box, I have a big 3-wick candle that says I'm so happy and grateful. I have a mug that says the same thing. I have a clear sticker that you can put on your mirror. So it's like an affirmation sticker. It says, I'm so happy and grateful. So in the mornings, you can write your affirmations under it. I have a dry erase marker that says Miracle Maker on it and a few other things. So you can be creative with your products. But for me, I believe in a not only a goal board, but like a goal environment, a vision environment. So it's little things that I feel like people can put in place where they're simple, but they're trigger your memory to like stay on track or be grateful, because we all know gratitude is one of the fastest ways you can manifest. So that's one of my streams of income, like physical products and courses. So I love digital courses. And let me say one thing about this physical products. You do not have to actually go to the post office and mail these things out. I remember when I first wrote my book, I was at the post office like every other day, every time orders came in, until I discovered drop shipping. So now, even with my physical books, I don't have to touch them. So people order them mostly through Amazon at this point, and Amazon ships them out, Or, but there's other drop shipping companies for physical products. So this gratitude box, I ordered my stuff from the manufacturer. The manufacturer shipped all of the things to the distributor, and which is a drop shipping company. And when the orders come in, the drop shipping company mails everything out. I don't even have to touch it or see it. So don't think you have to be the one running to the post office or UPS or FedEx all the time. Like that wouldn't be passive. So drop shipping companies, write that down. That's another nugget. But what I love more than physical products are digital products. So my courses, this one is a travel course, says secret travel hacks, travel the world, even on a 9 to 5 budget, how you can save on travel for free, and even get paid. So a lot of times we may think about our current database and say, well, I don't have a lot of followers, or I only know people in in Atlanta or in California or in Ohio, but if you create something that is well needed, then it's easier to find the audience. At a click of a button, you can ask AI who would love this product, or what are so, or who are some of my competitors, or who are some people I can collaborate with. Show me their Instagram, and you can definitely like actually go to their Instagram and see all their followers. Right now, it's free, okay? But you can actually message their followers, or there's way to put ads in front of your competitors' businesses. So don't think about the marketing part yet. Don't think about, oh, how you're going to get the message out or how you're going to get your product in front of people. Like if you have an idea, you just start on that idea first. The marketing can come later. So don't have analysis paralysis and try to think too far and so far that you don't even start the first step. Okay. So think about digital products that you can create. So this one, once again, is my course. And I love online products like this because no matter where people are in the world, because of social media and ads, they can just click a button and download it. So don't sleep on this digital money. Another stream of income is actual digital products. So not just the courses, but a digital product can be a PDF, it can be an audio file, it can be an ebook, it can be like a two-page document, honestly. Like it doesn't have to be long. If you can solve somebody's problem, they don't care if they have to read 200 pages to find the answer or 2 pages. So keep that in mind. And even though most people sell their books for like $15, between $15 and $25, you can create a PDF and sell it for $100. You can create a two-page PDF and sell it for $1,000, depending on the market you are serving and the problem you are solving. So if you ace the bar exam and you did it on your first try and you learned a certain method that helped you remember things, like you can put that in a PDF. You know, like if you know how to make your herbs from scratch and you do it in your kitchen, you can put that in a PDF, or you can create a video or a recipe or something. So don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be black and white as long as it's solving a problem. So I believe we are all experts at something. Some of us are mothers, some of us are wives, some of us are teachers, some of us just have life experience doing certain things. Some of you get compliments on your hair or the way you dress or the way you decorate your home. Like if somebody told you or gave you a compliment on something more than 3 times, like listen to it. The second time somebody told me to write a book, I wrote that book and it changed my life. So those are the hint, hint, clues, clues, the hint, hint, clues, clues that people give you. And a lot of times they say wealth comes in whispers. So it's not always loud. It's not always flashy. Sometimes it's just a little nugget somebody dropped on you or a question they asked you that made your mind, start thinking about a solution. But go back to the times people complimented you multiple times on something, and that's probably something you can teach or a PDF you can create. So these are two of mine. One is the brand plan planner. So just teaching people how to organize and map out their brand. And another one is top 10 travel gadgets. And this travel gadget one is actually free. So once again, you can actually make money on the back end with some of these PDFs. It doesn't have to be a paid product right off the top, especially if you're just now building your database. So with this top travel gadgets, what I have in it is about 10 items that I love, that I live by, that I travel with all the time. And even though it is free, what I did was I created affiliate links with all of those products. So yes, women download it for free, but guess what? Every time they buy those products, I get a commission from each of those products. And that's one of the things I taught on in my next level mentorship program in our last session. So there's so many ways you can make money. So when I say it doesn't matter if you're introvert, extrovert, it doesn't matter if you have a busy schedule or not, because sometimes some of these PDFs or some of these products only take one time setting up and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Here is another screenshot. So I have properties, so I rent them out different ways, but for the most part, I use Section 8 tenants. And I remember people used to discourage me from using Section 8 tenants when I just got started. They said, girl, they're going to tear up your house. They're going to put holes in your walls. They're going to break your windows. I haven't had any major problems with any of my tenants because a big thing is you have to screen them properly. If they send in their application and every year they're moving to another place, that's probably not somebody who you want in your home, you know? So my tenants, they end up staying for 5, 6, sometimes, yeah, 7 years. So it's about screening your tenants. I remember showing my house to one family and they take their shoes off and the whole house smelled like feet. I'm like, this is probably not somebody who's going to take care of my property. That's a no-no. But I definitely, even in the down markets, didn't have problems with Section 8 tenants. I've been blessed and I'm keeping my fingers crossed and I'm knocking on wood. Even with the furloughs, with the government shutdowns and all that, I never had any problems. And so think about that. Like people run away from real estate because they're like, well, if somebody lose their job, then they're going to stop paying and it's hard to get them out. But there's programs like Section 8, there's programs like for veterans, there's programs even for like sober living houses, depending on how far you want to take it. But another thing I do is I actually rent out some of my properties by rooms because I can make like 3 times the money. So one house in it, for an example, like I was renting that one out for 2,200 and the mortgage on that one was like 600. So that was a big profit already. But I took it a step further when I saw the economy shifting and I started renting it out by rooms. And I rent those rooms out in that one particular home for about 850 a month. And one, it gave me some, I would say, some comfort in knowing if that one tenant was supposed to, was supposed to turn out to be a squatter of some sort or didn't want to leave the home. It's harder to get them out when they're the only tenant there. But when you rent it out by rooms and there's people going in and out, or you yourself inspecting it all the time, then it's different to well, it's harder for them to squat in your premises. But renting it out for the even the 850, I ended up making more. So I started doing that with more of my properties. And there's different platforms you can rent them out on. This is a screenshot of Airbnb, and this was one room for 1 month for $1,270 that I profited on that. And there's other platforms like Furnish Finder, that's one. Dropping nuggets, pick them up. So Furnish Finder is one. Pad Split is another one. PADSPLIT. Traveling Nurses is another one. So for the most part, these platforms have some qualifications. Some of them already do background check on the people, and some of them just by how the platform is designed, you'll get professionals. And then you have, of course, like Facebook Marketplace, if you want to find, say, pilots or airline hostess or travel flight attendants. So one, they already have a job. So if you have properties by the airport, that may be a move for you. So yeah, so just start widening your horizons. You don't have to have multiple properties you don't have to have multiple properties to start investing in real estate. You can start with one. You can start with your own home that you are in. Some of you may be in a 3-bedroom now, 4-bedroom now, and you have extra rooms and you're just have it decorated for guests that come 3, 4 times a year. But at the same time, you're saying, oh, I'm working so hard. I need to change something. I need passive income. Trust and believe your guests already have their home, okay? And they have their check coming in. So sometimes we're going to have to shake things up and make some sacrifices in order to live the life that we want to live in the next 2, 3, 5 years. Some people may say, well, I don't want the energy of other people in my house. Well, do you like to live paycheck to paycheck? If the answer is no, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices and you're going to have to be uncomfortable at some point in order to live the rest of your life like you want to. So I just wanted to show you all some actual receipts. And some people would say, well, my HOA doesn't allow it. I can't tell you what to do, but I would tell you what I would do if I was on my success journey. I would still rent out a room. It probably wouldn't be a 2, 3 day thing on Airbnb. It would probably be to a long-term tenant where the HOA doesn't have any reason to knock on your door, because it's not high traffic going in and out. But at the very least, they probably give you a warning, okay, one time. Or you can actually try to rent a property and tell the landlord what you're going to do, and you can probably give them a higher deposit, but you have to start somewhere. But just you can try to find a landlord who will sublease or allow you to sublease. So you got to think outside of the box. You can't do what everybody else is doing and expect to get different results. Another thing that I do, or another platform I make money on, is Turo. I've been on Turo before Turo was called Turo. I've been on Turo when it was called Relay Rides. So I have multiple cars on them, but even if you only have one car, like I say, you have to start somewhere. Maybe you're not using your car 7 days a week. Maybe the 2 days you are at home, you can have it rented out. So expand your horizons. Or maybe it's not an ongoing thing, but maybe you're taking a 2 week vacation, you can rent a car out then. And you may find somebody who starts renting it regular every weekend or something like that. But start to think outside of the box. Some of you already sitting on assets. Some of you have assets inside your garage as liabilities right now collecting dust. So at the very least, you can probably be offsetting your car note and your insurance. So it doesn't have to be an everyday thing, but start thinking about how you can eliminate or decrease some of the actual expenses that you have already. So Turo is one of mine. And this is an actual screenshot of one of my books. So the sales of one of my books, and this one sold over 11,000 copies. So imagine if I just hemmed and hawed the 2 times somebody told me I should write a book, Imagine if I didn't put the actual pen to paper the first day I did. Imagine if I didn't believe in myself. Imagine if I didn't believe the words of my mentors when he said, honey, finish the book. It's going to be a bestseller. Like the thing is, like, you never know. You never know how your life is going to turn out. You never know how your finances can change. But I know nothing will change if you don't take the risk and if you don't start somewhere. Maybe you'll start and nothing happens. I don't believe that. I don't believe if you put a goal down on paper, if you put it in front of you, if you look at it every day, if you affirm over it, and if you commit to doing one little thing every day towards that goal, I don't believe that nothing's going to happen. But you first have to take the first step. So I promised you all that I would actually show you all screenshots. So this is some of my screenshots and some of the actual streams that I make money. And none of what I showed you is out of the ordinary. Nothing here requires millions of dollars, and I haven't shown you any of my $1 million like projects. So anybody can start with any of the streams that I just showed you all. So it's not far-fetched, and all of what I just showed you is very doable. And I remember asking one of my mentors about stocks. Like, how do you pick your stocks? And he said, well, I buy the news. I'm like, what do you mean you buy the news? So he literally waits until companies are in the news for bad news and their stocks plummet, and then he buys them. I was like, wow, I never thought about that. But he was like, yeah, because for the most part, they go back up. So in COVID, that little conversation popped in my mind. And I'm not somebody who buys stocks all the time. I stick to a certain ones. But I remember in COVID, I wanted to test his theory. So I remember in the news, one of the first companies was Norwegian Cruise Lines, when they had all the people stuck on the ship out at sea who had COVID. And I checked the stocks and it indeed plummeted. And I bought the stocks. Not only that, I went on to do some research on what other stocks fell tremendously during COVID, and I bought more of a lot of companies. And I put it on Instagram too about I'm doing a session and I'm willing to do one-on-ones to help you all pick some stocks or show you the stocks I picked. Some of them were as little as $5. And this was an actual post that yeah, this was the actual post I posted, and I remember a few ladies responded, and one in particular, I'll show you a short video, but she took heed and she took action and she actually bought them. And I would say, out of all the companies I bought, maybe one went bankrupt, but for the most part, I more than quadrupled my money. So, you have to. You have to lean on the words of the people who've walked the path before you. And sometimes it's not going to make sense. For the most part, it's not going to make sense because you've never been there. You're going to and hon and I don't know. But like, if they have proven results, like you got to start trying. So here's a video of me and Judith.
After Corona. Okay.
All right, and pick the first one.
Okay, Market Watch. Perfect.
Because every day the numbers change. So what I researched months ago or even last week, it varies. And scroll down and see some of the ones that they talked about. Keep scrolling.
I don't know what's up with my computer.
I think it's the internet.
It's just been acting up. I need to like clear up some space.
Okay. Yeah, I did that yesterday.
I have to. Where did it go? Okay. So.
And just scroll down. It should give you a list of some of them.
All right, cool.
All right, so like right there, it shows you a lot of them. All right, so some of these companies fell 6%, some, fell 9%. And you can see some of them are still in the traveling industry. I see Travelers Company. I saw, what did I see at the top?
Boeing.
Yep. So do another search. When I searched, like just open another tab. Yeah, when I searched for companies that fell 80%.
Okay, so just type that in Google.
Yep, and see what comes up. Because if a company only fell 6%, it's not a lot of bouncing back. But if they fell 80%, you can like double and triple your money on the way back up.
Okay. So let me see.
So I just wanted to get you in or show you all an idea how I work with my ladies. So I'm not just telling you what to do. I'm doing the stuff with you because I care. But yes, stocks is definitely one way to make money long term. And I would recommend stocks that pay dividends as well. So you don't only make money when the stock go up, but they actually pay a certain amount, maybe quarterly or even yearly in this. And I also recommend just reinvesting your dividends so automatically. So just put it back and buy more stocks automatically so you don't even have to think about it. And yes, every 9 or so years the market dips, but long term, like that's what stocks, I would say stocks are for, is like very long-term investments. Cool. And I wanted to show you all this screenshot too. This is actually of my daughter's account. She is now um 20, but she started her business when she was like 14. So she started an eyelash company. And at first I was hesitant when she asked me because I thought that was her way of trying to wear lashes because I didn't allow them when she was a teenager. But no, she showed me her business plan and she showed me where she would be ordering from overseas. And she showed me her logo and she built her website and started her Instagram and her TikTok. And so I backed her up. I backed her up financially and she was off to the races. And I remember when she earned her first $937 on TikTok. I was like, you go, girl. So residual income or passive income doesn't have an age to it. You know, some of you all have young family members, maybe daughters or sons or nieces or nephews that you can expose them to some of these streams and they will be off to the races as well. So I just wanted to share this with you because I'm all about generational wealth, you know. So think about who in your family you can bring with you. And they may not listen to you at first. Sometimes they need to see the results, and that's understandable. But I wanted to show you some of my actual screenshots and my daughters too. So this is another way you all can make income. And I mentioned it earlier, peer-to-peer lending. So this is one of those interest income streams. So for people who say, well, Paige, I really don't have any time, but I'll make good money. I can put my money somewhere and, you know, I would like a certain amount of interest. There are so many different peer-to-peer lending platforms you can go out there and look for and vet them yourself and see how much money you would have to put up, but then the people on the other side would actually pay your interest. So that's where people who they say they don't have a creative bone in their body. They're not trying to write a book. They're not trying to create a course. They're not trying to do a digital project. They just want their money to work for them. So stuff like this would be a great option. So I know I exposed you all to quite a bit, and some of you may be saying, man, I feel like I'm way behind. I wish I started earlier. I wish I knew some of this stuff earlier. But guess what? You're not behind. They say, well, they do say that the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but the next best time is today. So y'all still have time and you are in the right place. And there is a way out of the rat race. There is a way out of the income trap. There's a way out of the cycle, and it's called next level mentorship. So I would like to say that this program interrupts this cycle by giving you a clear blueprint, live coaching, and accountability so you can build passive income that works for you. So myth number one, you may be thinking, I need to quit my job before I can build passive income. No, you do not. The most successful women I work with build passive income streams while working their 9 to 5. And with the right blueprint and accountability, you can start creating income that works for you without risking your stability. So if you all were on at the very beginning, you saw about 3 or 4 testimonies from some of my ladies. Some who I recommended a business platform or business building platform, and they were able to get business funding and start their own business. Miss Tina, for example, and now her business is up and running for the last 4 years. You all heard from Miss Demi, who she started investing in real estate and became a landlord, and her first tenant has been in her first property for 6 years. And that was while she was working her 9 to 5. Also, you heard from Miss Mimi, who went on to write multiple books. The last book she wrote is on AI, and she is still working a 9 to 5, but now she has multiple streams of income. She's not working because she has to, she's working because she wants to. And you also heard from Miss T. She's on her 4th book as well. She actually stopped working about 2 years ago because one of the reasons she wanted to step away from the job was to spend time with her son. He plays football, so now she gets to go to his actual game. So there are women from all walks of life who have built income, and no, all of them haven't worked. All of them haven't had to step away from their job in order to do so. Myth number 2, I need thousands of dollars up front to get started. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars up front. You need live monthly mentorship from someone who's actually done it. I showed you all some actual streams, and none of those you didn't need like thousands of dollars to get started. Myth number 3, you can figure this out by yourself and you can watch YouTube videos and courses. I would ask you, how has that been working for you? It all sounds good in theory, but a lot of times it's not knowing what to do. That's the problem. It's having the accountability to do it. Like you don't have a lack of information. You have Google and you have AI. You can figure out what to do on paper, but it's actually having a community or a mentor behind you and accountability for most people that is going to help them break through their own limitation. So the truth is, free content gives you information, but it doesn't give you personalized guidance, live feedback, or accountability. And you end up getting more confused than where you started. What you need is a mentor. So here is what the Next Level system gives you. It's a 3-step mentorship program designed specifically for women who are ready to build passive income and take control of their lives. So 1, you'll get clarity. 2, you'll get a blueprint. And 3, you will get accountability. So when I say clarity, most people skip this step and wonder why nothing else works. You can't build the right passive income streams if you haven't identified your strengths. So the income path assessment, which I designed, it helps you identify which passive streams match your personality, skills, and goals. Because nothing sucks worse than delving down a rabbit hole or starting one stream just to find out, man, I don't even like to do this. I don't even like trading, like I do, but I'm saying some people may say that. So taking this income path assessment, it really helps you identify what kind of streams are kind of tailored to your personality. So you'll get personality mapping, what types of passive income streams fit your lifestyle and your skills. You'll get your strength assessment. So what are you naturally good at that can generate income? You'll have a goal alignment. So where do you want to be in the next 12 months financially? A lot of people don't even sit down and think about that. So I'll help you unravel that. You'll learn about your risk tolerance. So how much can you comfortably afford to invest in yourself? And you'll learn like how much time you actually have available. So how much time can you realistically dedicate each week. This isn't guesswork, it's strategic planning. So step 2 with the blueprint, this isn't generic advice or theory. You'll have to figure out for yourself. This is a step-by-step breakdown of how passive income streams are built from start to finish. And each monthly session covers a different income stream or topic around mindset, money, or lifestyle. And the third piece is you'll actually get the accountability. So this is where the deepest transformation happens. So most people buy courses and never finish them because they don't have accountability. So you'll get the live monthly coaching and it keeps you moving forward. It'll answer your questions and hold you accountable to the goals that you have set. So you'll get this package in 2-hour live coaching session. So the first hour is for training, so I'll teach, and the second hour is where you can ask detailed questions and answers. So unlike a course where you're just watching it and you may have one question to get unstuck, but you don't have a live person to answer that for you, this isn't like that. You'll actually have me. You'll get to answer questions in real time and brainstorm solutions to challenges as they arise and stay on track with your goals
I
month after
joined
month.
this amazing team because I follow Beige on Instagram and she is amazing and she's doing amazing and fabulous things and helping her team, and I got to see that over a period of time. And so I jumped by faith and joined the team, and I am excited to be a part of it. So thank you so much.
So imagine having this level of clarity and support available when you need it the most, regardless of how stuck or confused or overwhelmed you feel right now. But I would say here is what I find the most powerful. These women didn't just learn about passive income, they built it. They took action. They created streams that worked while they slept. And that's the power of live mentorship with someone who's actually done it. So I would say the most frequently excuses I hear from time to time is, I don't have time for another program. It's once a month, honey. It's not 5 days a week. It's not even one day a month at this point. It's once a month and it's actually recorded. So if you miss the live session, everything is recorded. People say, I've tried other programs and they didn't work. I can promise you, you haven't tried a program like this because none existed. That's why I created it. Because from coaching thousands of ladies throughout my 20 years of being a life coach, I realized that there's not a one place where people can go for answers for residual income, where a mentor would show up live once a month and teach you on a different stream of income every month. Like you have programs where they may last for 6 months and it's just one topic, but not an ongoing program where somebody spotlights a different stream of income where you can delve in and they're all passive. So it's nothing like it. And people will say, let me save money first. One, I would say I made this pretty affordable. It's not thousands of dollars to get started. And the second thing I would say is a lot of times we say, okay, let me wait for the perfect time, or let me save first, or let me wait till a few paydays from now. And what we're doing is procrastinating, and we're feeding that cycle of procrastinating. It's the women who jump before they're ready. It's the women who take action that I've seen the most success with. And it's the women like that that I'll bend over backwards for, because I've seen it clearly. Like when I have a group of women who like, oh, let me think about it. Let me save up some more money first. Or where the women who have the same amount of money, but they're like, you know what, Beige, like I want to jump. Let me take the leap of faith. Like, I know something else has to change. It's by you jumping before you're ready. That is what activates faith. And people don't understand that. People say, oh, let me pray about it. Like, faith doesn't come in prayer. Faith comes in action. Like when you don't really see how it's going to happen, but you make the decision and you start, that's when doors start opening. That's what I believe. So ask yourself, what are one or two things you can eliminate now in order to get started? Maybe it's Netflix. Maybe it's a gym membership you haven't been using. Honey, you can jog outside, you can work out inside. And speaking of Netflix, I never had a Netflix account. I stopped watching TV 20 years ago. I don't understand how people can say, well, they don't have time to do this, or they're not financially where they want, but they have a Netflix account. They have a Hulu account. They have Amazon streaming, if that's a thing. I don't understand it. Like, you don't have the luxury of watching TV. You don't have the luxury of watching Netflix if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if like you have things you want to accomplish and you haven't accomplished it yet. Like your priorities are backwards. Let's go. Like your priorities are backwards. So the more you wait, the longer you delay your own success. It's the habit of procrastinating that has kept you stuck and that you need to break in order to get to the next level. And once again, the women who take action before they're ready are the women I see who have the best results. So if you're still with me, it tells me something about you, and it tells me you're not someone who settles. It tells me you're someone who knows deep down that you're meant for more. It tells me that you're exactly the kind of woman this mentorship is for, because I know you can be anywhere else today, okay? But the fact that you are on here is something that's resonating with you. So I want to say thanks for showing up. And yeah, so this is the Next Level Mentorship Program. That's what I wanted to expose you all to and give you the opportunity to join. And I'll let you know in just a few minutes how you can join it. But this is a complete system for women who want to create passive income and take control of their time. It's everything I've learned from 20 years of being financially free and helping thousands of women. I've had to learn everything I learned through trial and error, books, mentors, all types of programs, through traveling the world, okay? So you have access to my brain. And this is the first time I've ever created a live program like this, because I know people need it. Like, people out here are struggling. People out here feel stuck. People out here have real potential. And if they just have a little nugget here, a little advice here, a little piece of the puzzle here and there, like, the sky can be the limits. A lot of my women, when they started with me, I didn't know the testimonies they were going to have in 1 year or 3 years or 5 years. But when I get the messages, Paige, I'm still trading. Paige, I'm still making money from home. Like, Paige, I'm on my 4th book. I'm like, you go, girl. But you never know unless you start. So today I'm opening enrollment for a select group of women who are ready to invest in themselves. Okay.
I'm overjoyed. I'm taking this message far and wide, right? This growth on business. I mean, this was truly a retreat. It wasn't just a business conference. And it's the lives that you touch. You know, sometimes you don't have to do too much. It's the littlest things, you know. But that act, that phone call, you know, when you said, let's just make it happen. And
Oh my God.
I think we all have similar
Yeah.
stories. It's amazing. And the group, just seeing the
Thank you for
vast.
just believing in me because, honestly, sometimes you see people from a distance and people will say things, but until you back the things that you say with the action, it's just words. And then until you back it up, then the realness of who you are is seen. Right? So for me, like, you have not only defended everything that you share, your belief, but you act it out. So you're not just all talk. You're talk and action.
That's one of my ladies, Diane, from a business and branding retreat I did in Orlando, Florida, where I rented out a 10-bedroom villa and we just rocked out for the whole weekend. We had a private chef, we had sunrise yoga classes, we had a makeup artist, we had a photographer and videographer there capturing footage for their brand. We had a masseuse, a esthetician giving facials, and we just had a whole 360 retreat. Like, I truly love my ladies and my heart goes into teaching and pouring into y'all. So this goal of the program is for you to create at least one or more successful streams of passive income and start building wealth while you sleep. And I would say this is how much it cost me to run the program. For AI and productivity tools, $89, content creation and design, $69, marketing, funnels, and automation, over $400, website and hosting, over $100, storage and cloud services, $58, communication and operations like phones, business phone lines, over $73, and finance and admin is over $193. So that's over $1,000 just to bring this program to you guys, whether or not anyone joined, but it was a vision that God placed on my heart, and I knew it was what people needed, and I was willing to do it, So what you are getting is the monthly 2-hour live group coaching call. And I would say that's a $597 value because that is how much I charge an hour to have a one-on-one call with me. Personalized accountability and support, that's a $97 value. And real-time problem solving, I would say that's at least $197 a month. So a total of $891 in value, I would say, that you are getting. So for those who, but that's not what I'm gonna charge you, okay? But for those who sign up today, who take the leap of faith and say, hey, Paige, I'm in, I want to also give you my clarity session. It's a recording with a goal setting class I taught a while back. It's about 2 hours long. And for those of you who say, hey, I want to pay the annual price, I want to pay for a year up front, then I will also give you my 7 streams of income video training. So that includes the 7 streams of income that I actually have. Some of them I went over today, but it also includes a host of other different ways you can make money. So for those of you who like to fast track, say, hey, I know you're teaching one thing every month, but I want to fast track, I want to start researching on my own, then that would be ideal for you. So I would say I'm not going to charge you $1,000 a month, even though I feel like the value is there. Because I remember how it felt when I was stuck. I remember making money, but still feeling like I can't see the end of the tunnel because my money every month I was making was matching my bills, okay? And every 30 days I had to do it all over again. So I'm not going to charge you all that, but the program is $197 a month. So I don't know what you have to shift around, what you're going to have to eliminate. But like, if you are not where you want to be and you 20, you 30, you 40, you 50, something has to change, honey. Something has to change, but I'll take it a step further. And just because you were on with me until the end and you actually signed up for this masterclass, then instead of the 197, it'll be 97 a month just for y'all. So if you signed up for the masterclass, you are on till the end, then I will honor $97. And it's not going to get lower than that, okay? I know my value. I know how much this works. I know the worth like you'll get if you just put the pen to paper, just show up with a grateful heart, show up with an open book, show up ready to take notes and ask questions. Like, think about where you'll be in a year from now. It's almost impossible to stay in the same spot. Like, if you show up month after month, have access to me. You'll have access to the other ladies. Like you'll be able to bounce ideas off of each other. If there's something you ask me and I don't know in lifetime, then we'll Google it. We'll AI it. Like we gonna figure this out. Okay. So it's $97 a month, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And it's once a month on every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And once again, it is recorded if you missed it. So let me get this link for you all. And if you all have, oh, I was about to say, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat like, Miss Page, how do I sign up? I know y'all was like, oh, you could have stopped talking about 30 minutes ago. Okay, let me get this link for y'all. So I would say drop a 1 in the chat box if you are ready to go. You say, I have the 97, like I'm ready to go, Miss Page, I'm ready to go. If you are a number 2, that would mean you want to sign up, but you have a few questions. So drop number 2 in the chat box. All right, I'm trying to find this link for y'all. Technology, honey, technology. Okay, cool. This is the link. I'm copying it here. I see the ones lighting up the chat box. Thank you for trusting me. We're going to be rocking out. We're going to make this money, okay? We're going to put some plans to action. All right, so I just dropped the link in the chat so you all can open up another browser. If you get stuck, then message me. But this is what the actual page will look like when you get on it. You just have to put your name, email address, your phone number, and pick if you want the monthly session or the annual session. Oh, and also with the annual session, you save about 2 months. So the annual session is only $970. And make sure you don't pick 2 buttons. You pick one or the other, or it will charge you for 2. So we don't want to do that. So pick the monthly or pick the annual. And once again, you'll get the bonus of the clarity session, which is the goal setting session, because I feel like most people don't get ahead because they don't know how to break down their goals in actionable steps. Okay. So that will help you a lot. And once again, if you choose the annual option, you will get the 7 streams of income recording. And both of those are about 2 hours long. So it gives you a lot of value. All right. If you have any questions in the chat box, drop the question, or you can just unmute. If you all have any questions, I know while you all are signing up, I will stand by, and you have about 15 minutes for me to honor that price. So if you have any questions, let me know. I am here. I love y'all, and thank you all for showing up. So I'm gonna mute out, but I will be watching the chat box to see if you all have any questions. Love y'all.